A very good afternoon and happy Good Friday. My name is Molife Kumona. I'm the online editor for Glamour South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us today for Good Friday. Our Good Friday chat, a very exciting chat that we have. We're speaking to Miss Universe Zozibini Tunzi. We're going to be chatting everything lockdown, everything what's happening in her life, just basically getting a very good chat for this day. We're just going to request for Zozi to join us in a little bit. I'm just trying to get the numbers of the people up. Then we can request Zozi so that we don't miss anyone. Cool. Thank you for joining us. We'll be requesting Zozi to join us just now. Just letting the numbers build up a bit, then we can start that chat. Remember, you can go on and send out your questions for Zozi. And I'm just a Good Friday. Hi, Zozi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Can you see me? Do I look back? There we go.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I can see you. I am very good, but
you're breaking.
You look.
Thank you. I put on. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. Wi-Fi is a little bad on your side.
Is it? Can you hear me? Is it better?
I can hear you, but you keep on breaking.
Let me do this. Let me quickly fix something while we're online.
Okay.
I'm just going to. Because Wi-Fi does get to be like that. I'm quickly.
Yeah,
just
but also I think. No.
Hi, Zozi. Is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Is it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is the volume okay?
The volume is perfect. You just left me alone here with the people.
I am so sorry. I'm sure we're glad to hear from you. But thank you so much for doing this with us. I'm a bit nervous. I'm just like, oh my gosh, Susie. Oh my God.
Stop.
Yes,
listen,
I am.
I put on my lashes for you. Today, I was like, oh, I will put on my lashes. I will look nice and not look like I'm wearing a potato sack. So don't be nervous.
But you never look like you're wearing a potato sack anyway, though.
Sorry?
I said you never look like you're wearing a potato sack anyway.
Oh, stop. You're just being nice. But thank you. I'll take it.
Cool. So let's just talk. You know that in South Africa, obviously, we've extended the lockdown to 2 more weeks. Mm-hmm. So people not feeling so great about it, but I think everyone knows that it needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to your family? How are they feeling? How's the mood there?
Yes, I have spoken to my family, and this is the funniest thing. So my big sister doesn't really like going out a lot, right? And everyone would have figured that she would be fine, you know. But she is taking it the hardest. She is literally like, I feel like I just want to go out and get some fresh air. But like you said, everyone knows the importance of it, why we have to stay home, because we all have to do as much as we can to flatten the curve. But my family is doing fine. We chat as much as we can. Thank God for technology, and you know, we can be there together now, digitally and virtually. So yeah, I've been chatting with them almost on a daily. We have a family group, so we're always here. on WhatsApp.
Remove as she allowed people back in, because I saw the last time the youngest but
yeah, so
okay.
we all had to send in apologies. We wrote apology letters, and it was just like so bad. She kicked everyone out, even mom, like everyone.
Oh wow.
Out of the group, and so we all had to call her and apologize, but we're back on the group now, so it's all good.
Okay, that's good. Admin is happy.
Admin is happy. As long as we respond to a text, then everyone stays.
Cool. So in terms of the lockdown, how has it been going on your side? What day are you on? I know we are on day, I think it's 15. What day are you guys on?
So it's kind of different here than back home, in a sense that here people are kind of still allowed to be outside. You can walk outside to the park, you know, you can jog with your dogs. I mean, some shops are still open, you know, Uber's still open. There's some restaurants working. So it's not as tight as it is, you know, in South Africa. But we're going into the third week now where I'm actually home, not doing anything since I returned from Indonesia. A lot of my work trips have been stopped, most canceled, most postponed. But yeah, it's just been like over 20 days now, about over 20 days.
Is it?
Yeah,
and in terms of being at home, and what do you do when you're at home, and how are you keeping sane mentally? Because I think mental health is a big thing, especially right now when people are not used to being stuck in the same confinement. What are you doing, and how are you making sure your mental health is in check?
For me, I think my family, number one, means absolutely everything to me. So they're the people that literally keep me grounded most of the time. And we opened this platform called #Universe United, where we ask people to, you know, send in videos of themselves, just having fun, speaking about their lives, just sharing their lives with us in this moment. So I think I've been using that platform a lot to actually see what people around the world have been getting up to, chatting to different people, laughing at their stories, dancing along with them, singing, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's how I've been trying to keep sane, actually, just by opening up my phone, connecting to the world, chatting to my family. I also have a roommate. I live with Chesley. She's Miss USA. So at least I'm not alone. We're in this together. So yeah, that's how I've been handling this. How have you been handling it? Sorry?
Did you guys finally get the toilet paper that you were talking about the other day?
It is so sad. We did get toilet paper from our boss, Paula. She brought in some toilet paper, but we're out again. And I don't know what we're going to do. So if anybody wants to send us toilet paper, please, guys, this is the perfect time. Ship it, do something. I don't know, but we're out of toilet paper again. So it's still a struggle. Still a struggle.
Cool. And to answer what you were saying, how well I'm handling it is I'm away from family. I'm in Cape Town, family stays in Joburg, but I've got friends around, and I'm working a lot. Working on digital means the website, social media doesn't sleep. So that's how I'm handling it. But like your older sister, I like being indoors. And now that we're told not to do it, I'm just like,
you kind of want to go out, right? Me too. See, I'm not very much into the outdoors, but now that I have to stay home, it's kind of like, But yeah.
Yesterday I was going crazy. Like, let me go just like walk around the complex, because I was really losing my mind yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to just breathe. And I think maybe that's what we need to do. Do those little things that we enjoy, perhaps working out. Are you working out during this time?
I'm just going to be honest and say I've never been very big on working out in gym. Actually, I loathe it. Like, my body hates it so much. But Chesley is a gym and health freak. So I joined her and her mom once on a live to work out, and so she started this workouts that I promised to join her, because I just need to do better on my health, you know, and start going to gym. But I'm not very big on workouts at all. So if anybody wants to send me, you know, home exercises, or if they want to share some links where they're working out, you know, they can share and I'll join them. But other than that, I don't. The first time I went to gym was when I entered from South Africa, right? and we had to go to
Oh,
gym.
wow.
It was like a part of the itinerary. And I remember getting into gym and I didn't even know what was what. Like there's like so many machines going on. I was like, which one do I start with? How does it work? So I'm really like that horrible, but yeah, it's something I'm willing to work on.
So someone was asking that it's Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on a normal Good Friday, would you be in church? What would you be doing on a Good Friday? On a normal one, if you're at
I
home?
absolutely be in church on a Good Friday because that's where I always am every year. I go to the Methodist Church, Ewisile. That's my family church. So we would be out there right now. In Cape Town, when I lived in Cape Town, I used to go with my sister. But if I'm home, I'm then with mom and the whole family. Because this is the one time everybody goes to church. You know this about us. Because people don't go to church the whole year, but this one time, everybody's in church.
Everyone
So
go.
yeah.
What's your favorite church hymn? What's your favorite church hymn during the time? Church hymn.
My church hymn. There's one that says Chiko Ngalego. Are we still?
Can you take 2 seconds?
Can I sing? You want me to sing it? Oh my God, you're making me. I can't. I'm not ready. Please. I'm not ready. And my mom will kill me if I slaughter the song because it's one of my favorite songs. So.
That's okay. Maybe by the time we're about to finish, maybe you'll be feeling
maybe
better.
I'll have the courage to go for it. Do you have a hymn song? Do you go to church at all?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What's my favorite hymn? Like at this, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't have a favorite hymn.
Mm-hmm.
I have favorite songs. Like I like Tetwa.
Okay.
I love his songs. I like Ntokozo Mbambo.
Oh, he's amazing.
So John, that song that says "For God so loved the world." That would be my favorite song around this time.
Yeah.
I love a lot of gospel music, but I don't have a specific
You don't have a specific
favorite.
That's cool.
I don't have a specific one. So what I did is I have a lot of questions for you. Like people send you questions.
You came loaded.
Like
okay, let's do this.
Loaded. So, so someone says people call you the coolest Miss Universe ever. Why do you think that, and how do you feel about it?
Well, I can start with how I feel about it. I don't know why they think that, but I mean, it's always an absolute honor to be able to go out as yourself and people accepting you for who you are 100%. So I'm very honored whenever I go in and I see those comments of appreciation, especially from people I've never even met a day in my life. For them to keep on showing up for me day after day is an absolute blessing, and I'm very thankful for it every day I wake up. What was the follow-up question? There was two questions in there.
Yes, I was like,
why do
you think that? Yeah. If you just look at it,
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe like I said, because I showed up as myself and I was like, it's okay to be you. And maybe a lot of people can relate to that story and aspect of my life. But yeah, that's probably why, man. I don't know. They should let me know. What do you guys think? So
what do you guys think? So someone says, it's so silly. Someone says, please say my name is Zozi.
My name is Zozi.
Yes, exactly. So Zozi, one of the things that I've noticed on basically in terms of your reign and even your social media recently, I think 6 days ago, you spoke about how during this time, particularly in South Africa, there's been about 87,000 cases of domestic abuse. And that is something I'm passionate about in terms of gender equality and women. When someone reads, or even the conversation you had yesterday, when someone either reads about those stats or hears someone talk about it, when you are home, when you're me, when you're somebody else who's watching, what can we as a society do to alleviate that or to flatten that particular curve?
It's a very difficult one. It makes me sad and mad at the same time that we even have to have this conversation of finding ways to keep women safe instead of people just automatically keeping women safe. But there's so many ways to do it. You know, there's toll-free lines that are available that I've shared before on my social media that I will continue to share as well. But I think the biggest way was if you have a friend that you know, is usually in that type of situation, check up on those friends and be the one to make these calls on their behalf. Because what usually happens is when your perpetrator is sitting right next to you, it's very difficult to call people or to text people. So, try and find those friends. I was actually on Twitter this morning and I saw a tweet by Rosie Mutene. And she was asking people to retweet her, saying if you are in trouble and don't know what to do, there's a secret code that she has that people can send her. So if people can go on Twitter and look at that, she's willing to help. So there's so many things that we can do, to help people and to help get those numbers down. But, you have a big job as well as men. And I know gender-based violence is not just violence towards women, it's towards men as well. But I think it's always made such a woman issue that people are always looking for women to have solutions. And I always say, let's bring these men on. They are your friends. These abusers. You sit with them, you chill with them, you drink with them the whole time. Don't, turn a blind eye and pretend like you don't see things happening. Just because you're not doing it doesn't mean you're not enabling it. So, we need people to stop being enablers and start stepping up for, people who are victims.
And yesterday you said that we need to start grooming younger, kinder young men, and that's a conversation that I think you'd have for us as men who have children, or your younger brothers, your friends as well, and women as well, have children, women, like boys.
Because, a lot of things are programmed into children's minds as they grow up. They learn through hearing, they learn through seeing things. I like to always give an example of, how when we were young and you're in the playground and a boy hits you and you go home crying, the first thing people say is, I probably likes you, he has a crush on you. It's things like that. It's small. You might think it's like very small, but it's actually something that's ingrained into a child's mind to start believing that love is violence. You making that young girl believe that if a man hits her, it's a symbol of love. And the boy, if you hit a woman, then it means you love them. So it's things like that we need to look out for, because these are the kids that we are going to grow up to be adults. And like I said, we need more kinder and gentle adults. So let's start now. So everybody has a huge job. Parents, men, you have a very huge job to start grooming your sons to be the man that we need in the future.
That's definitely true. And in terms of Universe United, just tell us about it. You said about Universe United briefly, but what is Universe United and how did that...
Yeah, it's exactly that, uniting the universe. We are so lucky to have so many followers from different parts of the world. And I remember you asked me, how do I cope being in here alone? And I said, I have family. But we recognize that there's people who aren't lucky enough to have family, or people who aren't lucky enough to be close to their families. And so we opened up this platform to be able to say, you're not alone. We can all be like this virtual global community where we come together, where we share our stories, where we cry together, where we laugh together. And because we really are stronger together. I mean, there's people who don't have people to talk to, and when they go into that platform of Universe United, they see people's stories. They want to share their stories as well. And so that's where the idea came from, because I was like, we have to connect to people. We have to speak to people. How do we do it? And then, Universe United was born.
And you said earlier that I think I saw an Instagram post maybe a couple of weeks ago, when you're talking that you always knew that your reign would be unique.
Yes.
And we are in unique times now.
Yes,
And
we
also
are.
Universe United. How do you think your reign is going to mutate going forward? What is there something you've thought of, or?
I mean, it's something I've thought about a lot because people keep asking as well, you know, is your ring going to be extended? Oh, I wish it would, because this is so unfair to you. At first, it's not something I thought about. At first, when this started happening, I didn't think about myself, you know? I didn't think about myself. I was like, the world is in trouble. And there's so many things that we need to be focused on than me worrying about my reign. But of course, I started thinking about it. I was like, I mean, if I start counting the months, it might be 3 months of me being at home. But because we live in such a virtual and digital world, I'm lucky enough to be able to sit here and still send my message regardless of where I am. I can do it on my bed. I can do it sitting on my couch. I don't have to be out there to advocate for the things that I believe in. You know, I've always believed that my voice is one of my strongest tools. And so as long as I have a voice, I will always be able to use this platform to do the things that I wanted to do. Speaking on gender equality, getting to these platforms, interviewing people, giving up messages of hope where I can, just doing as much as I can to use this platform to keep uplifting women. I was on a video this other day, another live, and I told people, I said, take up space, and it doesn't mean we should stop just because we're sitting at home. We still can.
Yeah.
Through our phones. You know, we're in the 21st century. So we can do this virtually. So yeah, it has, I'm a bit sad that I can't be able to travel and go around the world and do these incredible things and meet these incredible people, but everything happens for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason, and it was supposed to happen in my reign, so that's okay. I'm okay with that.
So I was thinking earlier, so in terms of you've spoken openly about the face of pageantry changing. And one of the things that you said is that in order for someone to become, we have to see ourselves reflected first. Who was reflected to you for you to become?
Like who was I inspired by, in a way?
Yes, inspired by, in a way. So inspired by, in a way, because in order for you to become Zozi, be able to know that you can break all these barriers that you have broken. Who did you see? Who did you see who showed you that, you know what, this can be done?
You know what? I always say being from South Africa is one of the luckiest things that could have ever happened to me. You know, I stand on the shoulders of so many giants. So South African women have always been women I've looked up to. I mean, I don't want to pick one woman, but when I think of the women, for instance, of 1956, those women who marched to the union buildings to fight not only for themselves, but for the future, because they knew they were doing it for us. So for me, those are the women that propel me to be who I am today. I mean, they marched there. They were not seen as human or even capable of anything, but they marched in there with a voice and determination. And when they did it, they knew they were not doing it for themselves, because it was kind of like late for them in a way, but they were thinking of the future generation and were opening up these roads for us. And so whenever I do things, I always think about them. I never want their names to die in vain, you know? They didn't die for nothing. They didn't fight for nothing. So wherever they are, you know, they should be happy to look at a South Africa and see that women are doing incredible things, because, you know, they left that baton for us to pick up. So those are the women that inspire me. You know, they left that baton for me. So I have to pick it up and run my mile and make sure to pass it on to the next generation as well.
Cool, definitely. So when you came home, you really like came home. It was a homecoming. You literally did a lot of things. So what I wanted to ask is, you really you did a couple of things. You did corporate. You did the tours on different cities. You went to Parliament. You did a whole lot of things.
I did.
Why was that? Why?
I was burnt out by the time I went home. I remember that.
Literally, the reason why I thought this, I remember during that time, there's a picture you posted the day after Parliament. And I thought to myself, Zosie has been doing quite a lot. How is she even like standing, still looking this glam? What was your secret during that time to keep going? What was it that made you go like, okay, I'll take this commitment, I'll take this, I'll take this? And why did you?
I was just running on excitement, honestly. I was so excited. I couldn't even, I mean, I could only feel exhaustion at the end of the day when I was going to bed. But the adrenaline during the day and just being excited to see people and being excited to do all of these things is what kept me going. But literally, when my head hit the pillow every night, it would just be lights out. But it was just the excitement and seeing people and how excited they are as well, you know, to be able to join me in the homecoming. So it was such an incredible experience. I would do it all over again and be tired all over again. It's fine.
So, like I said earlier, that you're called one of the coolest Miss Universes. You are one of the most popular Miss Universes, and so women from all over. So what you have done is you have made representation cool for women of color. You've also made like beauty, hair cool, and also shown that we need to be represented. And what I've realized is you've got such big names, perhaps like Oprah, Naomi Campbell, our President Cyril Ramaphosa, openly rooting for you.
Yeah.
With all that praise, attention, and love, how do you not grow a big head? Because I think everyone can see that you haven't, but how do you keep that ego back? Because, I mean, fair enough, you live in the world of social media. People get 600 likes. They're like how do you?
I don't know. I don't think I have it in me to be that way. It's just not how I was brought up, I think. I don't know. I just don't think I'm better than anyone else. I think I've just been privileged to be in a position where I am, but that doesn't make me better. I mean, so social class is really not a thing for me. I don't come from an upper class type of place. I was born and bred in a village in a small town where just humility is a part of who we are. So I don't think I was going to lose that. I've learned that for 26 years of my life. I'm turning 27 this year. I just won Miss Universe a few months ago. So I don't think, you know, that should change the principles that have been instilled in me by my mom and my dad and my grandmother and all the women and men in my family who worked so hard so that we can be where we are. So yeah, I don't think it will ever get to me at all.
And that's good to hear, I think, because I'm sure you've seen it as well. You see it with social media. Even just people just change. You're like, okay, what happened there?
Yeah, it could be a lot of pressure.
So we woke up one day and were surprised that you posted on your social media page and you can really sing. So we were just like, you've been hiding the voice. Where, when, how, like...
I don't know. Music is it's a family thing, man. For us, my family, a lot of people can sing. My mom, all my sisters can sing. So it's just something that we've always had growing up. It's not something that I've always put out there that I can sing or be, because it's just something I've loved privately. I never thought of it as something that could be like a career or something that I could share with people. It was just normal to me. And so one day I just posted it and people were like, and then when did this happen? I was like, well, I don't know. But yeah.
So you will never look into
my life.
Will you ever look into music?
I don't No, I don't know. You know, you always have plans for yourself, and then life just throws you other plans. For me, if I'm being honest, I've never thought of music as a career for me. It's not even something I've like considered ever. But now, you know, it's things people have been approaching me about, like, will you ever sing? Please sing, you know? And I'm thinking, I really do love music, but I've never thought about it full on as like just going into it as a career. But you never know. Never know. Yeah.
So someone was asking earlier that someone who sent me a question said, did you think in any way that because of the way beauty pageants had been in the past, that your natural hair would work against you? Is that something you ever thought of, particularly at Miss Universe, not in Miss SA, because you think about that, and how did you go around that thought if you thought about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the journey did start at Miss South Africa. Because I remember when I was going to send in my entry forms, which I did so late, by the way. That's a story for another day. But when I thought about doing it, there were questions of, you know, should I throw on a wig? I think almost coming from people as well who I told that I was interested in doing with South Africa. So their first question would be as well, so are you going to go with your hair or are you going to do a weave? And so it is questions that really did come up because my kind of hair has never really been a thing for pageantry before. People have never had it. It's never really won. But I felt so confident in myself and in my skin and in my hair. And I was like, I just want to go and do it the way that I am. I've had a weave before and I absolutely loved it. I've had braids before and I loved it. And I had my hair in that time. And I loved it and I wasn't willing to change it for anything. And I was like, look, if I believe that this is beautiful, then I'm just going to go with it because it is. I felt as beautiful as I'd ever felt in my life. And so I just decided to go the way that I am because, you know, beauty comes in so many shapes and forms. If I'm going to change my hair instantly just for the purpose of doing a beauty pageant, then it means I don't think my hair, you know, deserves to walk on that stage. And so I kept it. But yeah, I did have questions about whether or not I should change my hair, but I decided not to because I just felt I had to go the way that I looked.
And did you expect the influx of not only support, but the shift after you won, the influx of how people really agreed with what you're saying and believed in you? Did you expect that? I mean, obviously, it's one thing to believe, to be yourself and know that that's what I believe in, and to have the whole world literally like, you know what, you've been right, you are right, and that's something we agree with. Did you expect that? Was that a shock?
It was a shock. The support, I never saw it coming, and it was like a gradual build up, you know, because when I first won, it was like, okay, she won, and there were supporters and there were naysayers, you know, like, okay, so this girl won. But then all of a sudden it just started like growing and growing and growing and people supporting more and people hearing my message. And then it just started becoming so overwhelming in such a beautiful way. I never expected it. I thought I was just going to do Miss South Africa, use the platform to speak about things I'm passionate about. For me, I was hoping to touch even just one person. Like if my win and if anything that I did after changed one life and changed how one person viewed themselves, I was happy with that. I was like, it's okay. I don't have to have the whole world in South Africa feeling this way. If I can just do it with one person, then I'll know that I did something. But then it just became huge and it became a lot of people, and I'm forever grateful for that.
As someone is asking here, do you speak French? I'm just looking through questions that I got on WhatsApp. I put a WhatsApp story.
I do not speak French. I'm so sorry. I would love to, but I don't. I don't speak French.
Okay, and I'm just looking at a question here. Okay, so Itabileng sent me a question, and she says, let me just quickly look at this question here. She says, what would you advise young people who had plans for this year, even though it's still early in terms of what they can do with those plans, particularly in the midst of what's going on right now? What would you advise them and how would you encourage them?
Yeah. I think my biggest advice is, in as much as this is such a horrible time for the world, don't look at it in a negative way. Just look at it as time out to actually focus on the things that you want to do. You had plans. Go back to the plans and work on them even harder. Now you have the time to look at it, like, and define it and make sure that your planning is perfect. So this is the time to actually just sit down and focus more on it. So this shouldn't be something that discourages you. It should be something that actually encourages you to go back and work harder. You know, plans can always be improved. There could always be like so many alternatives. You probably had other plans that you put on hold because you didn't have time for. Pick those up as well and start working on them, because here's the thing. When this ends, you want to be ready. You want to hit the floor running. Like when it ends, you just want to open your door and start running. So make sure that everything is in place. You know, it's not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. And I think one thing that people forget is you're not the only one who's going through this. The people that you probably wanted to plan this with are on standstill as well. They're not moving on without you. Do you know what I mean? They're not moving on without you. Everyone's on standstill. So use this time to define your plan. Make it even sharper. There's always something you can improve, because when the doors open, you want to be the first person out there and you want to be ready. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. You know, stay ready. That's my advice. Stay ready.
Definitely. I love that. I actually haven't thought of it that way, actually. Thank you for that. And Petunia is asking, what keeps you grounded? And have you always wanted to be in a beauty queen? Have you envisioned being Miss Universe? Is that something that was part of your vision? And what keeps you grounded?
Yeah, so it became a part of my vision at some point in my life, but it wasn't always. You know, I wasn't one of those people who, when I was 7, I was like, I want to be Miss Universe. This is my ultimate goal. When I was 15, I didn't want, and my ultimate goal was not to be Miss Universe. But the minute I reached my 20s, it started becoming something for me. I started visioning it. I started wanting it. You know, but here's what I always say to people. I always knew I wanted to be somewhere where I could use my voice. I always knew that I wanted to be so much more, is what I always say. I knew I wanted to be so much more. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I was determined to get there. And so as I grew up, Miss Universe became that thing for me. Miss South Africa first, obviously, because I was like, you know what? I grew up reading. I read Steve Biko, I read Nelson Mandela. I read a lot of books from incredible people. And one thing that they had in common is that they were all like so much bigger than themselves. They served like a much bigger purpose, right? And so when I read these things, I was like, this is who I want to be in life. Not necessarily them, but I want a purpose that's like much bigger than myself. And I've always had it in me since I was like so young. And I grew up always trying to figure out ways, how am I going to get there? And so I found pageants. And I was like, you know what, this could be a platform I could use, because people listen when you're in that platform. People follow you. So, you know, there were powerful women on there as well who inspired me on beauty pageants, who were doing amazing things. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this chance and try out. And it worked out. It really did.
Now, and someone was saying you have such beautiful skin, and then someone asked, what's your skincare routine? What's your amazing skin, and then what's your skincare routine?
Thank you so much.
Are there any tips you can share?
Thank you for the compliment. It's so crazy because my skin literally fluctuates like this. Sometimes it's like great, and then sometimes I break out. So it's as natural and as normal as anybody else's. But one thing I try to do is I try not to ever go to bed with my makeup on, because that is like one of the things for us that will really mess up your skin so bad. So try as much as you can to wash your face. I honestly don't have much of a skincare routine except like using serum on my face as well. You should use serum. It just keeps your skin moist, but not like oily. But yeah, I don't really have like a standard skin routine, but I know things that I shouldn't do, you know, like going to bed with your makeup, like not washing your face. Wash your face like 2 times a day, even if you're not wearing makeup, you know, wash it. Drink a lot of water, because work on the inside really does, you know, come out on the outside as well. So drink a lot of water. Your diet as well actually helps with your skin because the things you eat will also come out on your skin. So a healthier, like cleaner diet as well. But yeah, but my skin does. It's not really. It's not always perfect, guys. I promise you. I promise you. I actually did like struggle with my skin at some point. I think 2016, 2017 was when my skin started breaking, and I had a little bit of acne. But for some reason, it just started disappearing. So yeah, just take care of yourselves. Wash your face, drink water, and eat healthy.
And in terms of your hair, your natural hair, what are some of those things you do to it?
Let me tell
Because
you,
I think
my hair is going through the most right now. I mean, you might think I was trying to look cute, but I'm just actually hiding my horrible haircut because I haven't been to the barber in such a long time. It's such a struggle. Wow. But sorry, I didn't even hear your question about my hair. I just went on and on.
I was just saying, how do you keep your hair, like your natural hair? How do you maintain your natural hair?
Yeah.
What do you do to it? What are those tips that you can share with our readers?
Yeah, so I try not to put heat. I never put heat in my hair, actually, for people who have natural hair, because when you do, it breaks a lot. So I never put heat on my hair. You guys try to use like natural things on your hair, like not a lot of chemical on it. Someone was laughing, but I actually don't comb my hair a lot because that's actually not good for your hair either. So I'm not saying don't groom your hair. I'm not saying don't groom your hair and look nice. Let it look neat, but don't always like be in there with your comb the whole time. So natural hairs. I mean, I know people who I've even put avo on my hair, like avocado at some points, just to have it soft in there. Natural oils that help my hair, really. But I've actually been struggling since I got here to actually find products that are good for my hair, because when you're back home, you know your stuff. But yeah, so I'm still trying to find one that's perfect for my hair here. Crossing fingers for that.
Maybe if someone who's watching knows of some, they can suggest, actually.
Yeah, please, if you know any brand that I can use where I am, let me know. Just put in those suggestions and I'm willing to try everything. Because yeah, my hair has been going through a lot. It has been going through a lot. It was actually so difficult doing a pageant with my kind of hair because it grows and there's no barber to cut your hair. Because I'm like, oh my goodness, I just realized that they're not really used to having people who have no hair, who cut their hair. So there's a lot of hair dryers, hair irons, just not a hair clipper. So that was a bit of a struggle, but yeah.
So someone just said Jamaican castor oil. Did you see that?
She said what?
Someone just Jamaican castor oil.
And castor oil. Yeah, that's a good one. I've heard of that one before. I have heard of that one before. Please send in hair tips, guys. I'm actually, when you cut your hair, you don't really groom it as much as you do when you have a big natural afro. And so someone's giving a suggestion for a page here. Check out their natural hair crayon what? I'm not with my glasses.
Crayoness.
Yeah. Okay.
It's crayoness. What I'll do is we'll take this name, then we'll send you on DM so you can go check it out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, send in your pages. I'd really love to follow and actually have a legit, nice hair journey that I'm willing to invest in. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Oh, we have people from Brazil as well.
We have people from Brazil, we have people from Indonesia, we have people from Jamaica. Like I think I saw like over 20 comments from Indonesia. Everyone is just like, "Oh, you're just amazing." Someone says use coconut oil.
I've been to Indonesia twice. Yes, things like castor oil, olive oil as well works. What else have I read? I've read a lot of things. I've read a lot of things online. I really have. But yeah, also using head wraps as well to sort of hide.
And then it's there is Kayisile who say we can ship nativechild.co to you.
Oh wow! Hit my DMs.
They said,
Hit my DMs.
mm,
Yeah. If you're listening, you can hit my DMs, and then yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
cool, cool. So, what do you do when you feel homesick? What is it that you do? Is there a particular song you play? Is there food you eat? Outside of speaking to
Listen,
your family,
you know what? This
thing
is
that
so
you do,
funny.
you play
But I
a
actually
babe
go.
or
Yeah, I actually
uh,
go on Twitter. I actually go
uh,
on Twitter when I'm feeling homesick. And it's so funny because I used to be so scared of Twitter. Like I used to be
uh,
so. I still am. You know, Black
uh,
Twitter. It's crazy up there.
uh,
You know, South African Black Twitter. So I used to be scared
mm,
of saying the wrong things on the wrong day
mm,
and being dragged. Because you know they have drag culture. They have cancel culture. They will cancel you
that,
now. You know.
that's true.
It used to scare me a lot, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and just enjoy the app. So a lot of my following on Instagram is very mixed. It's like people from all over the world. But mostly
Yes.
on Twitter, my biggest following is from South Africa. I think about 80%. So that's like a big
Ah,
number. So whenever I go on Twitter, I just feel like I'm back in South Africa. Like, so when I'm homesick, I do go there and I laugh and I chat to people. It's always a great time.
and what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite song that you listen to maybe all the time, maybe, or even artist that's local, that's South African,
Yeah,
that
you know
you're
what?
just like, you know what?
I've been listening to Elaine. Oh my goodness, she
Mm,
is
mm,
amazing. I've been listening to
yes,
her a lot.
crazy.
She's great. I listened to Ami. Ami Faku is
Ah,
amazing.
ah,
Langa Mavuso is amazing. Tandisoma Zwai.
ah,
Loiso Kijana is like up and coming. Oh, beautiful voice. Who else? Who else? Zonke. I absolutely love Zonke.
yeah.
Um, there's so many. South Africa is so talented. I have it like on my playlist. I listen to it every morning. It's always a mixture for me, but yeah, a lot of incredible artists.
Mm. And then, oh yes. So after the lockdown, what are the first 5 things you'll do? What are the 5 things that you want to do after the lockdown? What are those like
um,
5 you want to do this?
I probably want to go to a restaurant and just like sit there. It doesn't even matter which one, just like sit and see people in a restaurant and eat at a place that is not inside an apartment. um, what else do I want to do my second? Because the thing is, at least here I was gonna say walk outside to the park, but I can now. Here in New
Mm,
York, I actually walk. So yeah, biggest thing going out to eat, just going out to be with people. I will probably even like just walk out randomly to just bump into people. I just want human contact. I think that's my biggest thing. Those are my top fives: human contact, human contact, human contact, and that's all. And I'm hoping to go home as well. I hope I have one of the trips that I have, because I know once business
mm,
starts opening, I'll probably have a lot of trips and a lot of work to
mm,
do. And so I'm hoping South Africa is one of them.
mm.
Hoping I can be home soon, because I was supposed to be home in April, but
Ah,
unfortunately, yeah. So looking forward to seeing where I'll go first. That's not my plan.
ah. So, Nelisha has just asked, coming from SA Rural, what is your message to present? Okay. What's your message to the rural communities in the time of COVID, coming from rural SA?
Yeah, it's such a difficult time. I remember when this started hitting South Africa, I put out a
Mm,
tweet. I put out a tweet because someone said, please guys don't go home to the rural areas to go see your grandmothers. And I remember I put out a
mm,
tweet where I was like, oh my God, please don't, because those are the people that are going to suffer the most if it goes there, because hospitals, healthcare is not very great there.
mm,
There's a lot of poverty. If people aren't able to go out and work for food, it's gonna
mm,
hit them the most.
mm.
So my messaging is just for people to stay put. Please
Yeah.
stay put. I know a lot of people aren't taking this seriously, and they really don't think it's a
Mm,
thing. But the
mm.
virus moves when we move. It moves when you move. So if you sit still, you're not able to really spread it across. And there's so many organizations and NGOs as well that you can use to help people in rural areas who aren't able to work right now. There's Feed South Africa, which is one of my absolute favorites. You know, what they do is they really buy food and deliver it to families that aren't able to be provided with food, families like in rural areas where help is needed the most. So my messaging to them, just, stay strong, look out for these pages and these people that are trying to help out, try to reach out and get as much help as possible, but please stop moving around. I saw a video. My dad sent me photos of umcimbi. South Africans will know what umcimbi is. And it's like an event, like a traditional event. I saw photos of umcimbi where police came in and they were like throwing away food. They were throwing away mqombothi. And I'm like, if you had umcimbi, please put it on hold. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. I know we want to appease our ancestors. I know we want to appease our family, but just please put it on hold. The mcimbis can wait for now. This is serious. So I think that's my biggest message to people in the rural areas. And I know that probably most of them don't have access to actually learn about how serious this is. So if you are a young person living in a rural area and you have access to the internet and you have access to what's going on, speak about it. Speak about it to the locals. Tell people about what's happening. Tell them about how serious it is, because teach the elderly about how serious this is.
Is it? And someone was asking, do you buy your own groceries or do they bring them to you?
We're actually lucky enough to have to order in our deliveries, our food, and they deliver it. Through like delivery systems. So we don't really have to go out. But sometimes food runs out and you just want to jump into the grocery store and buy something. So yes, I have been to the grocery store, but we have food deliveries as well.
And then someone is asking, what do you have for someone who wants to get into modeling? What advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into modeling?
This is so, because people always ask me, I'm not really a model. I've never really been a model, but what I do know is if you want to get into entertainment, whether it's modeling or whatever it is, it depends on sometimes where you are. Because I remember where I come from, I wasn't really able to do anything until I finished high school and moved to Cape Town. That's when I was able to be exposed. So where you are is very important. So if you are old enough to move, make smart choices about where to go to university. Apply. You don't have to always end up where you are. Apply to go to Johannesburg, to Cape Town, because that's where things are. I know a lot of people from the Eastern Cape like to ask me about modeling, and I'm always like, it's very sad because there's not a lot of modeling opportunities there. You'd actually have to move in order to be able to do that. I know it's a sad reality, but a lot of opportunities are in bigger cities. Oh, we have like 10 minutes. This video is going to cut itself. Have you noticed that? Like after an hour, it cuts itself. So I'm so worried.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have. So in 10 minutes, I'm sure we'll be able to wrap in 10 minutes. But Tepang is asking, can you speak Afrikaans?
I kan 'n bietjie Afrikaans praat from my times at school, from my toekomende date times with Afrikaans teachers. But yeah, I do understand a little Afrikaans. Yeah.
And someone is asking, okay, yes, what would people be surprised to know about you? What are some of the things that people would be surprised to know about Zozi?
I don't know. When your life is always like on blast, there's like a few things people don't know about.
You surprised us. We surprised us when you sang.
See, that's what I used to say. I used to say a lot of people would be surprised to know that I sing, but now they know. So I don't know if I have any more surprises, unfortunately. I don't know if I do. There's no more tricks in my bag. There's no more tricks in my bag.
And what would your advice be to dreamers who are being inspired by you and who are following your journey? Dreamers who are watching this. Like literally, they have a whole lot of dreamers. We have a whole lot of people who are inspired by you. What advice would you have for
Yeah.
them?
I think my biggest message is that you can be so much more. I always tell people when you look at me, don't say, oh my God, I really want to be there and be like, you can be so much more. Look at me as like a starting point to actually do so much bigger and so much better. It is possible. Our dreams are valid. They are so valid. They're valid as much as anyone else's if we believe in them and if we work so hard at them. I mean, like I said, I grew up in a village in a small town, and I remember I used to watch TV. I used to watch people on Yo TV, you know, those young kids there. And I dreamt so much of being them, but I knew it was not possible where I was at the time. But I dreamt. I kept on dreaming, and I kept on working on myself, and I kept on making the right choices to be able to be where I am. So I have a lot of faith, a lot of hope. It needs, if you want to make it, you need a lot of faith, a whole lot of hope, because if you're someone who gives up very easily, you know, it's going to be very difficult for you. So have resilience. Have resilience and know that your time is coming, and be patient enough to know that your time will come, because a lot of people lack that patience. So just wait and work hard. Just don't dream, because if you dream and you don't work, then it doesn't add up. So your dreams and your work need to be here and aligned in order for you to get there. So you can do it, guys. You really can.
Someone was asking here, I'm just trying to see because I saw the comment go up. It was saying, as a public figure in New York, how do you handle paparazzi? Do you have security?
So here's the thing. There's a lot of celebrities in New York. People way bigger than myself. Actors, actresses. So people are quite chilled here. There's no paparazzi. I mean, people will notice me and they'll come and say hi, but it's never really hectic. So the only time I have security is when I travel abroad. I always have one. And sometimes depending on a venue of where I'm going, they'll come, but they're not always there. They're not always there. I have Esther though. Esther's my manager. She's amazing. She's probably watching and stalking me. She's always there. She doubles up as security as well.
And after the rain, so someone was asking, are they going to extend your reign? I think that's not anything you've spoken about.
I don't know. That's the honest answer. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen now. I always tell people that the biggest responsibility that the Miss Universe organization feels right now is the safety of everyone, the safety of myself, the safety of the fans that come to support, and the safety of all the contestants. So they can't really do anything now because they're trying to be safe. We will all know when this blows over. But yeah, the answer is I have no idea what's going to happen.
And how has the transition been from South Africa to living in New York? How have you found that?
Yeah, it's been actually easier than I thought it would, because I lived alone in Cape Town before I won Miss South Africa and moved to Joburg. So I didn't live with my family. I always say if I lived with my family in the same house, the transition would have been much difficult because I would have felt more alone. But because I was so used to being, independent, it came very easy to me to adapt to where I am now. So it was a very smooth one. It wasn't that difficult at all.
Okay. And lastly, what's your dream for yourself? What's your dream?
My dream for myself is to never stop fighting for the things that I believe in. My dream for myself is to build for my family the generational wealth that we've never really had in the past. I want for my future kids and grandchildren to do so much better than where I am. You know, my parents did all that they could so that I'm where I am. And so I want to do the best that I can to make sure that I elevate my family name as well. And that I'm always remembered, man. You know, whenever I leave the earth, whenever that will be, I just want people to remember me as someone who tried, to do great things, someone who was honorable, someone who always tried to remain calm and kind and was never shaken in her faith and was never shaken in her truth. So yeah, when people speak about me, I want them to speak my truth, man, and say she used to speak her truth, so I'll speak mine too.
And someone was asking earlier, I saw it as we're rolling, that where did you get the head wrap from? Where did you get it from?
I packed most of them from home. I actually got a lot of them from my mom. A lot of them came with the designers. So if they give me a top, it would have like head wraps as well. But I'm also looking for places to get new head wraps as well, whether it's online, to start buying a lot of them and investing in them. But yeah, this one was a gift from T. Dumelo gave me this one. Thanks, T.
Wandile Mtembu is asking, before Corona, what is your favorite spot in New York City?
I actually don't know anything about sports. I don't know about sports in New York City. I don't know about sports in sports.
Like where you used to hang out. What is your favorite spot? Yeah.
Yeah, where I used to hang out. Hey, this accent. I'm actually I never really hung out much in New York because, you know, when you win, you just win and you get here and you hit the ground running. You have a lot of work to do. So I haven't actually experienced New York that much to have like favorite places. And just as I was about to experience it, this started happening. So I haven't really had that time because I've been traveling and working a lot.
Yes. And I am... Pefi says, do you think the modeling industry will ever open up to short models?
I'm hoping so. I mean, we see the modeling agency trying to shift and change as much as it can. It's trying to be as inclusive. I mean, I still feel like they can do more. I really do feel like they can do more. And so I definitely do feel like it will include them one day. And I hope that that one day is soon, because everyone's beautiful. There's many different kinds of beautiful, and short women are beautiful as well. So, you know, I'm hoping it will happen.